Okay, welcome to our course, Designing Narrative Writing Instruction for fifth grade special education students. This is going to be a hybrid course where we focus and guide on designing an effective narrative writing for fifth grade students receiving specially designed instruction or SDI. In this presentation, I'm going to walk you through the structured approach that is going to integrate standards-based learning with our individual supports to meet the diverse student needs that we will have in this hybrid course. So our focus, of course, is going to be narrative writing within the fifth grade ELA curriculum, specifically tailored for students with IEP goals in written expression. This instruction is going to be grounded in TEAC standards. We are also going to be using IEP documentation, such as their IEP goals and IEP accommodations, and two powerful design tools. We're going to focus on the Fink's 3-column table, as well as the ADDIE model for structured instructional design. We're going to also embed UDL, so Universal Design for Learning principles, to ensure that our course is accessible and engaging for all learners. We're going to focus on the ADDIE model for implementation because we're going to begin this course with the analysis phase. So we're going to review our student IEP, and their goals and current performance levels. This is going to help identify each student, where they are, what their strengths are, and what their needs are. And then we're going to form the basis for targeted objectives and appropriate accommodations throughout the course. In the design phase, we're going to align the objectives with IEP goals and select engaging mentor text to focus on. The development is going to then focus on creating supports such as graphic organizers, visual aids, other tech tools to help students engage deeper in their writing. Our instruction then is going to be delivered using a gradual release model with ongoing adjustments. And finally, we're going to evaluate these students and their progress using data and reflection to inform any of our future instructions. So this unit is going to promote a balance of teacher and student directed learning. So it's going to be a mixture of both. We're obviously going to have our teacher directed learning with explicit instruction on narrative elements and structure and modeling, of course. And then it's going to kind of shift. We're going to move towards guided collaboration, guided practice, collaboration with story development, where the teacher and the student are collaborating together, and move into some independent writing. So we're going to have that independent application with supports. It's going to be supported by scaffolds that encourage the students' ownership and their own self-regulation when it comes to writing. We're going to incorporate the competency-based model here, where students are going to master narrative writing elements. So they're going to focus on characters, setting, descriptive writing, dialogue, and they'll be able to go at their own pace. This is going to ensure that there's personalized learning going on while upholding the high expectations that are aligned to both grade level standards and the student's individual IEP goals. So they're really going to be able to get proficient while building towards more comprehensive narrative writing. We're also going to have assessment woven throughout this course. So we're going to use assessments of learning. So that will be our things like our final rubrics that are aligned with their IEPs for assessment, that final narrative writing piece at the end of the unit, and it will be scored based on those rubrics. We are going to have assessments for learning, which are just going to be ongoing formative assessments that are going to guide our instruction, teacher-student conferences, targeted mini lessons to work in specific areas, and strategic peer feedback that will be given to students. And moving into assessment as learning, we're going to encourage self-assessment and metacognition with tools such as reflection journals, goal setting, and editing checklists. We'll also provide accommodations for students as they move through this course based on their IEPs. And as we go down further, we're going to foster a deeper learning. So we're going to have a deeper application beyond just the grammar and the structure. This curriculum is going to foster a deep understanding through this hybrid course narrative craft. We're going to analyze mentor texts and engage in creative writing. Students are going to learn to express themselves in meaningful ways and confident ways. So they'll reflect on how their narrative skills connect to a personal expression, an audience, and engagement. And we're going to focus on those individual students and their IEP goals and their very specific needs. So as far as implementation and next steps, to wrap this up, we're going to finalize all supporting materials such as visual aids, differentiated rubrics, tech tools, anything that's going to help these kids with the writing process. We're going to use the Fink's 3-column table to align our standards, IEP goals, along with IEP accommodations and assessments. And we're going to collaborate with both the Gen Ed and the special education team to ensure that we are consistent in our implementation. We're going to establish these systems so that we can monitor student progress over time. Thank you for joining this instructional design journey. And we're going to have intentional planning and inclusive practices so that we can empower every student to become a confident and capable storyteller.